Hello, everybody. This is Jerry Stapp, Stapp Real Estate Group, Broker Top Tip episode. I am here with the amazing Robert. Today, we're going to talk about the REO space. Now, I know, Robert, you and I have been talking about this for the last 3 years. We've been talking about it, holding lunch and learns, holding webinars, telling agents what they need to do to get into that REO space. So, why don't you give them 6 things that they need to do to get into that REO space? But before that, tell us a little bit about your background and why should we be doing REOs and getting into the REO space?
You know what, Jerry, thanks for having me on. I always like to start off when we talk about this specific topic, REO, real estate owned. Basically, that means distressed properties. And I always like to start off with this disclosure. I do not want anyone to lose their home. Never,
Yeah.
never, never, ever. However, there's certain income, circumstances that are out of our control and the seller's control. So I just like to make sure we're clear. I like to help people keep their home. But in the event the home does go back to foreclosure, I want to be a resource for my corporate sellers as well, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and all the different asset management companies, hedge funds, and the like. And so I'm training agents across the country. I'm a certification trainer for eXp Realty. I train for ResNet. I train for REOMAC, which is called NADP now. So I make it a point to train agents how to get into the REO space, but stay into the REO space. That's the key. And the 6 steps to REO success, in my opinion, are as follows. First thing you need to do is you need to prepare an REO resume. I think it's important for agents looking to get into the corporate sales area, working with the corporate banks in the REO space.
So
You need to take
REO resume.
REO resume. So it's important to dive in and start taking listings with FSBOs, expireds, and pre-foreclosure. Banks want to know that you are a solid listing agent. So your resume needs to be dialed in. It needs to be an REO resume. You need to register for the banks and you need to start accepting BPOs, broker price opinions, so the banks can see that, yes, this Jerry Stapp, he knows what he's doing. We're going to send him business. So number one is REO resume and registering for the banks. Number two, you need to register for the REO and BPO portals like Equator, ResNet, Pyramid, and all the others out there. You need to start completing Rockstar BPO. So number 3 is complete a Rockstar BPO. Do a great job with that BPO and let that BPO get you listings and leverage the BPOs to get more listings and more asset managers.
Robert,
Number
if they haven't done a BPO before, I know there's some companies that will pay you to do BPOs, right? So if anybody wants a list of some of these companies that will pay you to do BPOs, just reach out to me. We'll send you that list, but start doing those BPOs and really learn how to do a fantastic BPO.
Do a really good BPO because that's your signature. You do a great job in providing valuation for those sellers.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to continually come back to you. So that's number 3. Number 4, understanding the many moving parts of an REO assignment. For an example, Jerry, I had a listing that we just closed here last month. It was 2 years from the time I received the assignment. It was occupied. We had to do cash for keys. Then we had to do a trash out, a clean, a remodel, get it up to speed. It took 2 years. So it takes time. And there's a lot of moving parts. You understand how once you get the new assignment, you need to be able to understand the cradle to grave. And that's the terminology we use in the REO space.
Mm-hmm.
Number 5, understanding cash for keys and the importance of cash for keys, because getting a property in as the best condition as possible is a difficult challenge in itself. Most properties that have gone back to the bank, a lot of sellers are in a strange place. They're not upkeeping their property. They're not taking care of things that need to be fixed. So oftentimes the properties are pretty banged up. So when we offer cash for keys, it allows them to have some relocation assistance, the occupant. So understanding the dynamics of cash for keys. And finally, number 6 of the 6 steps to REO success, property preservation, having a corral of vendors, whether it be a rekey, a trash out, a clean, any kind of remodeling, carpet paint, those kinds of things. Understanding the accounting process, because oftentimes the corporate seller will ask for you to front money and then only get paid back. So you need to understand the accounting process. A lot of REO properties, for example, I had one of my listings, I had 86 offers on this REO property. And Jerry, I'm sure you're familiar with how many property offers
Yeah.
we get. But
Yeah.
this particular seller wanted every last one of those offers submitted. So it took some time
Yeah. Inquiries.
understanding
Yeah.
the
All that
offer
info.
process. And then,
Yeah.
of course, having a transaction coordinator, whether it's distressed or not, that's a good form. So those are the 6 steps to REO success, in my opinion.
Yeah, what's interesting, that one about putting things in your name like utilities. I mean, just making sure when you put utilities in your name, submitting reimbursement, getting it done correctly, but also don't forget when the property records and sells, make sure you turn off the utilities, right?
Yep.
You never know, like, hey, 14, 15 days later after it closed, you don't turn off those utilities, hey, that's on you. So, um,
A big thing
fantastic.
too, Jerry, and a big thing with it, once it closes, you mentioned, is make sure that the buyer gets the property rekeyed right away, because
Mhm.
that key, oftentimes Fannie, Freddie, HUD, they have one key that opens up all their homes. So it's really important for the buyer agent to get those buyers to rekey their property right away.
Absolutely. That is a great, fantastic tip. So, Robert, any more tips that they want, please, guys, reach out to me, reach out to Robert. We'll be able to give you some amazing tips. But hey, first thing you do is sign up for all those Equator, Pyramid, ResNet, and get your resume done, get your insurance from your brokerage, and start doing some BPOs. So that way you can put on your resume, have done hundreds of BPOs, BPO proficient, make sure you do all of that. But what I also said, you said something really, really important. Start to work with those pre-foreclosures.
Yep,
Really, really,
absolutely.
really, really, really great tip. So,
And if
Robert,
nothing else, and nothing else, Jerry, what we're doing is we're helping those homeowners realize what their options are, but it's
mhm,
also giving us a really clear foundational educational experience understanding the post foreclosure space. So remember, REO is all about positioning, getting every information to these banks, and it's a kind of a hurry up and wait kind of game.
yeah, absolutely, such a wealth of information. Thank you so much, Robert. We appreciate you, and we'll see you on the next Broker Top Tip episode, everybody. Robert, have a fantastic week. Look forward to seeing you again, bud.
You as well, my friend.